Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today we will be discussing a very bittersweet topic, and that is we are discussing the very final episode of Vampire Diaries. And guys, not to be cliche, but it has been a hell of a ride. I have been invested in this show for 8 years. I have watched every single episode whenever I could. Since it first came out when I was a adolescent teenager, and my dad said, "Hey, do you want to try out this show? It's called Vampire Diaries." I was reluctant at first because I just thought it was gonna be another Twilight, and it became so much more to me than Twilight ever will or would have. To be fair, it was just epically amazing, and this ending had me all over the place. But the actual ending, the actual last 10 to 20 minutes were epically amazing, and I loved them. I know there's a lot of people that didn't like it, and to those people I understand, but at the same time I do not need hate on this video. So if you're gonna leave a hate comment, please don't. There was a lot of bad situations, and I know one of your favorite characters got extremely screwed over, but it would have been the same way for the other fans if it had gone the other way. So no matter what ending Julie Plec would have picked, no one was going to be satisfied. There was always going to be a person that wasn't satisfied by the Vampire Diaries ending, because you have two polar opposite sides fighting for two different endings, and one of them won and one of them lost, and there's this whole completely other side. So there's like three sides. One side that wanted to go this way, one side that wanted to go this way, and one that could just meet in the middle and say this ending was good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty awesome. Awesome when you think about it. And now I notice I'm rambling on, so let's get to discussing this. The first topic of discussion I'm gonna go through the first half of the episode pretty fast and only mention a few points of the episode because I wanted to get to that ending, because I'm gonna analyze almost all the ending. Pretty much. I've done this video before, actually, and no joke, it literally took me an hour and 20 minutes, so I had to refilm it so I could cut it down. So, yeah, let's get started. So, first topic of discussion, I'm gonna talk about the opening scene with Bonnie and Elena and Enzo and Caroline and Stefan. That scene, I loved the Bonnie and Elena hug. I thought Elena opening her eyes on the bed was kind of cliche a little bit, but you know, there's a lot of cliches in this episode. I'm just gonna say it right there. Even the ending was very cliche, but I still loved it. I'm a very cliche person, and I love cliches, so yeah. I guess that's why I enjoyed it more than a lot of other people but we have Bonnie and Elena, and Bonnie sees Elena, and Elena wakes up for a brief second, and then, they hug, they talk. Elena's like, "No, Bonnie, you're not supposed to be here right now. You're supposed to live your life. And I'm not gonna let you do this. I'm gonna stay dead while you go live your life." And Bonnie's like, "No, I lived my life. And on the bright side, I could be here with Enzo." And then Enzo just comes and goes, "I'm sorry to tell you this, love, but it's not your time." So he sends her back, and Caroline and Stefan are glad that Bonnie is okay. Then we have the other side of the situation, which is Damon, Matt, and Vicky. Damon went to the bell tower, shoved Vicky off the bell tower, which is probably another one of my favorite scenes in this episode, is when Damon shoves Vicky off the clock tower, and then she comes back. back, and Matt's all like, Damon, what the hell? And Damon's all like, Matt, you do know your sister can't die, right? Right, and then Vicky's all like, yeah, how rude as she walks down the stairs, and then she discusses how Catherine told her to ring this bell every 5 minutes, and that they can't convince her to stop, and then Damon tells Matt that he better stop his sister, and then Matt tells him where he's going. It's all like, I'm not gonna stay here. Are you kidding me? It was kind of fun. It was kind of funny. You know, that was kind of laughable. And then we got the Steven, Damon, and Elena/Catherine scene which still pisses me off as a Delana shipper. That scene severely pissed me off because I was expecting a beautiful reunion between Damon and Elena, and even though I got a semi-beautiful one near the ending, this one seemed a little more genuine than that one did, and that made me mad. It's like, okay, Nina and Ian, why couldn't you focus all that energy on the reunion between Delana and I don't get it. How come Ian's smile seemed so genuine in one scene, and the other scenes, it was just like, meh. I guess he was just tired, and he's like, we're almost done filming, right? I just want to go home. I'm done. I've been through this for 8 years. I love you guys, but I'm just done with all the fan craze, which is the same thing that essentially happened for Robert Pattinson in Twilight. I guess whenever you spend so many years on a show and there is just such hard fan craze that even your wife is getting death threats, I guess it is tiring after a while. So I get Ian's performance and Nina's performances both, but at the same time, I'm gonna get to Nina's first performance as Catherine in a minute, because that was kind of lackluster for me, and oh my god. I think I read the message boards on that scene, and I'm not the only one who thought this opinion, so then we get to this scene, and Damon and Steven are talking about Catherine, and then we see Elena walk out, and Damon, this was a beautiful scene, and I really wish it was Damon and Elena and not Damon and Catherine that did this, because that just took away from the beautiful moment so much that I said, fuck you, Julie Plec, and I swear if Damon and Elena don't get at least one moment in this episode, I'm gonna riot. Even if Damon did die, I would have wanted a Elena scene, at least one would have done well, but fortunately for me, we get to get Delana scenes, thank God. I don't think it would have been an ending I would have wanted if that hadn't happened. So, then we get to this beautiful hug between Damon and Catherine, and then Damon's like, no, and then it's revealed that it's Catherine, which there were so many fan theories saying, oh my god, Elena's away, but there was also this small percentage of the other side saying, what if it's that's not Elena, what if it's Catherine? I'm like, no, it couldn't be Catherine. Could it be Catherine? It better not be Catherine, and it was Catherine, and I got so pissed off that it was Catherine. Then I was just like, ugh. But the thing is, whenever Steven said welcome back in the preview, that wasn't in the finale, and I know they stated that Julia Plec at the very last minute was cutting scenes because she didn't know which ones to cut, and she did cut a very important scene, to me at least, not to a lot of the other fans that aren't Delana fans, but I heard she cut a certain scene out, and I'm all like, I'm sorry, I would have cut out like a couple scenes just to at least have that closure for Delana, or at least that scene to have. But hopefully for me, I usually buy the DVDs anyway, so hopefully it'll be in the deleted scenes, and I could watch it and just immerse myself in the actual intentions of the finale. But here's the thing, okay, so we come back, and I swear this is like the worst acting performance that Nina Dobrev has given, like, one of the worst scenes she's ever been in the Vampire Diaries, because then she starts going on her Catherine Pierce, and the way she talks when she's Catherine, I'm just all like, okay, that does not sound like Catherine Pierce, for one, and for two, it kind of sounds like an imitation of Elena doing Catherine, because, it just, I don't know what was up with Mia Dobrev's acting in that scene. I don't know if she was kind of, like, off character at that point or anything. It just seemed like she was forcing those lines most of the time, and for the bad bitch that we built Catherine up to be, I just thought that she got a lackluster performance. I didn't really care that she died, honestly. I was like, but we'll get to her death and another character's certain death in a moment, which, believe me, you're not alone in the death thing. I didn't want him to die, but, well, we'll get to that in a minute. I mean, I didn't want Damon to die either. I didn't want either of them to die, so we'll get to it. So, Catherine reveals that she has hidden Elena's body somewhere, and Elena's body will burn along with Mystic Falls, and they can't escape, and blah blah blah. And I guess that was her last act of revenge, was hiding Elena's body, even though she hid it in, like, one of the most obvious places to check, I guess. Way to be obvious, Catherine, hiding Elena's body in the place where she technically turns you back into a human, because that's gonna, because that's gonna help you in your ultimate plan to defeat Mystic Falls. Hiding Elena's body in the same school where she gave you the cure, because, yeah, that was smart. I don't know, is it me, or did Catherine not have a plan B? Like, for Catherine Pierce always has a plan B. And she just seemed like she just did this spur of the moment decision, and it was very weird that she decided to dress up as in Elena's dress that she has been wearing for 5 to 6 straight years in a coffin, and I'm like, ew. I get why she did. I mean, she's a middle-aged bitch that always has to pretend to be Elena, but still. Did it never cross Damon and Steven's mind that it might be Catherine? Like, no joke. Nope. And then we have the whole, Steroline scene whenever, it's not a Steroline scene, I don't think. It's kind of like, no, it's a Delark scene, wherever Caroline tells Alark that they've hidden Elena's body somewhere, and she has to help Damon and Steven and to take the girls, and Alark says, please don't leave the girls without a mother. You of all people know what that feels like. And I got teary-eyed at that, I'm not gonna lie, but I also got kind of mad at it. But at the same time, I got it. And then I'm just all hoping over here that Caroline doesn't die, because, you could always throw Caroline over to the originals, which we'll get to that hint at the ending, and I really hope it comes true, because that would be epically awesome to have both of my ships end up together. So, Steven goes to check the school, and it turns out that Catherine has hid Elena's body in the boiler room under the school. So Steven gets Elena's body, and it turns out that there is a boundary spell where Elena is, and strangely enough, the boundary spell is only on Elena, which kind of weirds me out, how could there only be a boundary spell on one person? I just thought a boundary spell worked on a Pacific room. That didn't really make sense to me. I guess everything, like, went straight to hell in this episode, no pun intended, but it's like no rules in this ending, especially whenever Steven stabs Catherine with a dagger for the first time, and it only sends her back to hell. But, whenever we stab Kate with the dagger, he dies. So I'm like, It took Hellfire to kill Catherine, really? But it only took, like, a person that's been the devil for longer than Catherine, only one stab by a human Steven. But we'll talk about the human Steven getting to kill anyone he wants in a moment. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. But on a side note, I do love the outfit that Catherine put Elena in. It was very nice of her for whatever strange reason to put Elena in an outfit. I mean, I just thought she would dump her in the boiler room with just her bra and underwear on, honestly. But no, she put Elena in an outfit, so Catherine took the time to throw Elena's body into the boiler room under school, switch outfits with Elena, and then go back and pretend to be Elena. It was just okay. I don't get why she would waste so much time doing that, but and then we get to the whole Damon and Catherine scene in the forest, which is probably one of my favorite scenes, not because of what Catherine says to Damon, but because Damon finally gets to stab that bitch at least fucking once in his life. That was a little poetic justice for me, because in the fact of who Catherine screwed over more, Damon or Steven, it'll always be Damon who she screwed over more, because I don't think a lot of people get how horrible it is to be strung along for so many months and or years, only to find out that the person that was stringing you along never loved you in the first place. It's a horrible feeling. And then, of course, Catherine has the time with the whole, any girl would choose Steven, even Elena, because he's the better man, and you're not, and he stabs her, and I'm like, thank you, Damon, because honestly, if it came down to Damon and Steven, I would choose Damon. Not that Steven's bad, but, I love me a bad boy. How could I say? What could I say? Maybe that's why I sympathize with Damon, because, I've been to the place where you get fucked over by someone you cared about who never apparently cared about you in the first place. So I get that feeling. It's not a good feeling. And there's a lot of resentment. I will admit. It's not an easy thing to get over, honestly. But can we talk about one thing in Nia Dobrev's costume design? That wig, though, the wig was horribly off-center all the episode, unless they curled it, but when it was straight, oh my god, you could so see Nia Dobrev's hair underneath, and I'm just over here like, okay, when you get extensions, they have to actually fit your hair, but the style it's in, I guess it couldn't, but oh my god. Have Elena have her vampire curls, at least. It would have looked way better than Elena's boring straight hair that looked like I could burn it off with a lighter and it would explode in flames. Okay. But then Steven tells Caroline that Elena's body is trapped underneath the boiler room, and he's all like, you gotta get out of Mystic Falls and yada yada. All that good stuff, and and then he's all trying to tell Caroline that he's gonna try to convince Damon to leave Elena so they could all leave in Mystic Falls, but you know that even though Damon is nowhere near Elena in this episode, that he would never leave her behind. He would die with Elena before he even considered leaving her, honestly. And then, Bonnie shows up to the armory because Bonnie, Alark, and Caroline are all in the armory, and Caroline agrees to leave with Alark, and at first I thought, because Alark is apparently going over to the originals, Matt Davis, the actor's name, by the way, I thought, you know, they were all gonna hop in the car and go to New Orleans and start that school, that boarding school for the magically gifted in New Orleans, because that would be cool, because, you know, they would at least have hope in that whole magically gifted status, and that would have been cool as a concept for the originals, but I guess it didn't happen. But then we get to the whole scene, and this scene is probably one of the most emotional scenes in the episode, besides the end. The end, oh my god, the end scene just made both me and my fiance bawl like a fucking baby. Maybe because I showed the ending to my fiance, and he was over here crying, and I'm over here crying, and we're just both over here crying. So Damon goes down into the tunnels. And at first I'm all like, oh, I hope Damon doesn't die. Because if Damon dies before he sees Elena again, or if he dies and he doesn't see Elena, I would hate that ending. But good news is that he didn't. And then, of course, Steven, being the martyr he is, has to run down to Damon and go, well, we have to sacrifice Catherine with Hellfire, and one of us has to put her down to do it. And Damon, being Damon's all like, I'll do it. You go ahead. You're married to Caroline. You just barely got married to Caroline. She has... You have your family. You could live without me. Just go. And then Steven's all like, let me do this. And my favorite line from Damon in this is gotta be, Steven, this is no time to fucking be a martyr. And who's to compare notes about who's been the worst, because I would win that competition. And I loved that. It was very truthful that Damon has done a lot of awful things, and it was kind of like, but if Damon dies, that would be a sucky ending for Damon, for me, honestly, because I think Damon has been through so much already. Not that Steven hasn't been through a lot, but honestly, if we are looking back through all these episodes in every tiny little detail, Damon has been through the most pain of the two brothers. Steven, not so much. Even Julie Plec, the writer of the Vampire Diaries, states that Steven has got a lot of happiness in his life, along with the bad, while Damon has a lot of depressing in his life. So that's why I'm glad about the ending. I'm glad that they all got a semi-happy ending, if you could count that for Steven, because, you know, we all know what happened to him, and it was like, I want both brothers to have a happy ending. No matter how much I claim I hate Steven, I want both Steven and Damon to have a happy ending in this show. And I guess technically you could say the ending is a happy ending for both of them, but I wanted more out of finale, I guess, than that. And the whole Devin moment, it was just, I was in there crying and other stuff. And then I'm all like, Steven, don't be stupid. You are human. And Damon can compel you. And Steven's all like, I'm human. Let me die. And then Damon's all like, you know, right, Steven? You are human, which is why I can do this. And Damon compels Steven to leave. And Steven goes. So it looks like it works for a while. And then he just goes to Catherine's body. And I'm all like, oh, sad face. I don't want Damon to die. I mean, it would be an honorable sacrifice and an okay death if Damon died, but at the same time, don't do that to me. Don't let me watch my baby die. I didn't even give a shit if Elena died in this episode. I was all like, yeah, I liked that ending. Watch Mystic Falls burn and have everyone else get the fuck out of Mystic Falls. Have Elena be the major character death, but that didn't happen. And of course, I'm like, let's see, I knew that Damon was gonna compel Steven, that's what I wrote. And then we get this small scene of Matt, Vicky, and Peter, and he's all like, I came back to see you, and she's like, I'm not gonna stop, and then Matt's all like, we don't want you to stop, and then Vicky gets her piece, somehow, some way. Wait, so she rings the Hellfire bell and other stuff, and I don't know how Peter and Matt came out alive, but they did, which, okay, fine. I guess that Matt was never actually gonna die, because I knew Matt wasn't gonna die from the beginning, because Matt dying wouldn't have had as much of an emotional impact as either Damon, Steven, Elena, or Bonnie, or Caroline for that matter, because Matt has been kind of like a token human character, where you just have him to have him. He doesn't really have a purpose for being there, but he's still there. You know, he's one of those characters, and I knew they weren't gonna kill him off because there's no real depth to it. So, yeah. So whenever the Hellfire is unleashed, Bonnie is doing the spell to send it back to kill Catherine, and it's just, it was, like, so I would like to applaud them for this scene, because it was a really good scene. I love how Bonnie was in the armory, and Enzo's, and she just doesn't think she's strong enough. She doesn't think she could do it, and Enzo's like, you're strong enough to do anything you set your mind to. You could break any spell, and you could do this, and then, Bonnie's like, I don't think I could do this alone, and Enzo's like, you're not alone, and then we turn, and we see Grams, and it was, like, such an amazing part for that, and I just, I loved it so much, as well as Bonnie being surrounded by all the Bennett witches, except Emily, which I now figured out why Emily was not there, because a girl that is supposed to that is playing Emily had scheduling conflict and she couldn't make it. So I'm like, wait, why is B holding Bonnie's hand? It should be Sheila and Emily holding Bonnie's hand and B in the background, but I guess that's what happened, and, you know, I'll take it. I'll take that for Bonnie's ending, and then Bonnie's collapsing, and I'm like, okay, so who's dead? Is it Bonnie or is it Damon? Because right now it could go either way, and then, of course, I'm writing on my sentence right here, like, if Damon dies without getting his happy ending, or at least some form of happy ending, even if it's in ghost form, I'm gonna write. Right? And then I was wondering in my head, is Nina really just only gonna be playing Catherine? But then we get to the scene where Elena and Steven are kind of in the afterlife. And at this point, I'm confused. Whether or not this is real, and whether or not Bonnie is dead, and Elena just, you know, walked past the whole boundary spell and woke up, and Steven's there to tell her that Damon died. That's what I thought was gonna happen, even though, you know, I actually made a prediction about this earlier. I literally was on the Vampire Diaries finale promo, and I said the person that's gonna die is gonna be Steven, because this is my reasoning. One, he's gonna sacrifice himself because he thinks that he needs to sacrifice himself. The same with Damon. Damon also thought he needed to sacrifice himself, and that's, like, okay, I get it. They both wanted to sacrifice themselves, but I knew Steven was gonna be a martyr as usual and try to do something to stop it. Two, we started off this series with a Steven voiceover, if I remember correctly. So I thought this series was only gonna be Steven's story. That's why I thought it was gonna be Steven, because originally it's Steven's story. So I thought, you know, Vampire Diaries ending because Steven is gonna die would make sense for the ending because it started with Steven, so it has to end with Steven dying, and I was right about that. I didn't want to be right about Steven dying. I knew it was going to be one of the Salvatore brothers, and it had to be a very emotional impact, and I knew that Steven was going to get one. I knew Damon was also gonna get one, and if he died. But the happier ending would have been, like, the ending that they wanted probably wouldn't have worked out so well if it had been Steven living. So in the end, they decided to kill Steven off. And, you know, then we get to the scene wherever Elena and Steven are talking about it. We got a throwback to the first episode wherever they bump into each other, and I'm like, are you serious? I swear it's Elena's endgame. I think I'll be like semi-okay with it, but poor Caroline, and they better not pull another How I Met Your Mother on me, because, you know, that would be stupid to have Caroline and Steven marry only to break them up in an episode. But they still technically did that, so, you know, what was the point of having the wedding if you're gonna kill Steven? I don't get that. Kind of like, what was the point? But then again, it would have also been the same way, you know, if Damon would have died. It's like, why the fuck did you give us hope for Damon and Elena having a happy ending at the end of the series if you're just gonna kill Damon off? So either way, both brothers were made the opportunity to both get a happy ending no matter which one of them died, and I was like, who's gonna get their happy ending in the actual life? Because, you know, in the afterlife, we'll talk about the afterlife endings in a minute. I was all like, and then it did a 180 on me, and Steven's all like, let me explain. Damon's sacrificed himself for me and this town, and for you. He even compelled me to leave and never come back until he was dead. That's why I was shocked that Damon didn't know that I took Vervain, because I wouldn't go a day without being human without Vervain. That's what I thought too. It's like, why isn't Steven on Vervain? He knows that people can compel him because he's a human at the moment. So whenever he turned around and left, I didn't understand why he didn't take Vervain, so he could be like, no, I'm not gonna do this. And then we see Steven stabbing himself with a syringe, and then he gives Damon the cure which is in his system, making Damon human. And then he sacrifices himself for his brother, and that made me cry, because Devin, no matter what ship you're on, whether you're Stelena or Delena, Damon and Steven's relationship as brothers it's just so beautiful. They were willing to sacrifice their happiness for each other, you know? Damon was willing to sacrifice his happy ending with Elena to make sure Steven and Caroline had a happy ending, and Steven was willing to sacrifice himself so Damon and Elena could have a happy ending, and that's a real brothership right there. That is a real bro OTP right there. It's kind of reminds me of Sam and Dean, but just not as epic as Sam and Dean, because, you know, Sam and Dean can't get divided by no hoe. You know what I mean? Not that Elena's a hoe, but you get what I mean. That was actually kind of offensive. I apologize for that in advance. And then, of course, we get the whole Stelena goodbye, and I didn't cry about that because I'm not the hugest fan of Stelena. And it kind of felt a little underacted to me, of course. Kind of like the Delena scenes. The Delena scenes are very underacted. Probably because, you know, no actor really has the chemistry with Nina Dobrev at the moment because she's been gone for so long. So all the chemistry scenes with Nina, besides the ending one, seemed a little off to me. Like the very first question that Elena asked after Steven just told her that he sacrificed himself to save Damon was, is Damon alive? And I'm like, okay, well, Elena don't give two fucks about Steven at the moment. And he's all like, yes, Damon's safe. And I was all like, oh, thank God Damon's safe. And then Elena's all like, but that means you're dead. I'm like, no shit, Elena. Do you think he's just here with you in the afterlife? afterlife for no reason. The reason, of course, Devin is dead. So we have this whole, it was nice to see you one last time, Elena scene, which I thought was touching. I'm gonna say this now, Paul probably had the best performances in his whole show, and probably because he got he was just probably glad that Steven's character arc was finally done and over with, because Ian was tired of playing Damon, Paul was tired of playing Steven, and Nina was tired of playing almost everyone on that show ever. So I kind of get it. I get that they're tired of doing this, but it's no excuse for the ending scenes where it didn't really feel like there was a lot of emotion except for the very final minutes, which we'll get to. So, and of course I put a whole I knew it for Steven dying because I totally predicted it as soon as Steven turned human. I predicted that Steven was going to be the one to die because they were giving such huge hints. They were giving Steven a happy ending before the finale. So I knew he was probably going to die at that point. It also seemed, because it seems like when things are going perfect for characters is when they decide to kill them off. I knew that was probably gonna happen. There was just a lot of signs that it was gonna be Steven that was gonna die. But my one thing was this huge flaw with Steven's plan in the first place. Okay, so you give Damon the cure. I guess that's the point of giving Damon the cure at that point was because Steven knew that without it he was just gonna watch Elena die, and that wouldn't be a happy ending for Damon. So he stuck Damon with the syringe, but I'm like, but wait, Damon might also not have a happy ending with Elena if Bonnie's still alive, so are they gonna have a Damon ending? I mean, I was okay with Damon ending up with either Bonnie or Elena. At that point, I was so thrilled that it was Delana at the end. But, yeah, honestly, I just wanted Damon to be happy. I didn't really care who he ended up with, as long as he was happy. Because the one thing I've always wanted out of the show was for Damon to be happy, and for Steven to be happy. I didn't really care about Elena's ending, but until I saw Elena's ending, and it was probably one of the best endings in the show. And of course I wrote poor Caroline, because Caroline has literally lost everything except her daughters and Klaus. But we'll get to the little tiny Caroline scene in a minute, and I loved it. The Caroline scene, it was just, now we're gonna get to the Steven finding peace scene, because it was another one of my very favorite scenes in this show, because Steven finds peace, but he finds it with Lexi, and I've always been a Steven and Lexi fan, because, Steven and Lexi equals sexy, so I'm totally a sexy fan, and I'm glad that they actually got to do their peace pact that they made like, okay, when I die in the afterlife, I hope I find peace with you, and Lexi was there for him to find peace with, and I was so happy, and that was technically Steven's ending until the very ending, but then we see Bonnie, and she's working on Elena, and somehow she breaks the Sleeping Beauty curse. It wasn't really explained. I guess she just broke the Sleeping Beauty curse out of power of sheer will, I guess. And then her and Elena hug, and it's like, it's been a while, but I think I finally got this witch stuff down, and that was awesome. I really liked that. And then Elena was like, where is he? Because You know, Elena already knows that Steven is dead. She knows that Damon is gonna be devastated by it. And then she tells her that Damon is with Caroline. Caroline saying goodbye to Steven. And then we get this beautiful image and Nina Dobrev voiceover. I can't remember exactly what she said. It was something about life could be beautiful, but in the happy moments of life, there's always sad moments. And then we get this really sad scene that made me cry of Damon in the Salvatore crypt, and he's touching Steven's funeral plate, and I'm all like over here bawling like a baby because, you know, Damon's been through so much, and on top of that, he lost his brother. And that was devastating to me. That Damon has been through so much, and the one person he loved, without a doubt, is dead. Dead, gone. He doesn't know if he's gonna see Steven again or not, and that was just really devastating to me. I cried, and I'm all like, I swear, if Damon doesn't see Steven at the end, I'm gonna riot. Right? And it's just gonna be like, you know, whatever. But then we have this whole sweet scene between Damon and Caroline. And Damon asks Caroline if do you think it exists, and she's all like, I would like to think it does. It does, and that just made me bawl. And, you know, then we get this whole sweet scene with, it's like, oh, you might. And then Caroline says, but we'll see him again. And Damon, being Damon, is doubting himself, saying, you'll see him again. They might reopen hell for me. And Caroline, I swear this is the sweetest thing she's ever seen in Damon. She's like, don't be so sure. And then they give this, like, beautiful arm and hug thing. And I'm all like, okay, Candace and Ian's performance right there was probably the highlight of the acting performances besides Nina's final one. That was the absolute highlight of that episode. So then Caroline walks out of the Salvatore crypt, and then there is Elena with Bonnie. And Caroline just is so overjoyed at seeing Elena. And then we get my Delana reunion scene, which was beautiful, but at the same time, I felt kind of cheated. I mean, I know I shouldn't complain about it. At least we got an ending. At least Nina agreed to come back. So I'm not going to complain about it too much. It was just, like, some of the chemistry between Ian and Nina were off, and some of it wasn't in this episode. But this is really a beautiful moment between them two, because they're just, like, looking at each other. And then they run into each other's arms, and then they kiss, and it was a beautiful scene. I really like who directed that scene. And then we get Steven's funeral, which of course makes me bawl like a baby. And I'm all like, what? Caroline puts the globe of Mystic Falls on his thing, and I forgot if Steven gave that to her or not. I'm not 100% sure. Comment down below and let me know, because I wanted to know the significance of that globe, besides Mystic Falls. And then Damon gives Steven his daylight ring, because he doesn't need it anymore, and I'm like, Damon's daylight ring, and the D for Damon on his, and the S for Steven on Steven's, and I'm like, meh. I was just like, oh. And then we get to the very confusing ending, which someone had to explain to me. We'll get to people's happy endings. First, we get Bonnie's happy ending. And if you want me to make a video with more in-depth analysis about these, I will, but I'm running out of time to talk, so I'm gonna get on with it. Bonnie's ending was that she decided that she was gonna travel the world And good for her, maybe she ended up with some sexy French man along the way, or she was gonna go travel the world with someone else. Someone else. I forgot who they said they were probably gonna put her with to travel the world together. But oh yeah, it was Matt. They wanted her to travel the world with Matt because they did discuss putting Bonnie and Matt together at the ending. But overall, Matt and Bonnie did not happen. Which, you know, that's okay. That's totally fine with me. I was never a bat shipper to begin with, so and I just thought that would be really forced if they had done that. I mean, people said the Delana ending was forced, but you know, I'm just over here like it wasn't that forced. I've seen more forced endings like Padme and Anakin. Yeah, that was horrible. But then we get Matt's ending, but I think Matt's ending was actually first. And now he's a sheriff, and he's thinking about running for mayor, and he gets his little bench. And then Vicky and Tyler are watching over him, and they both found peace, which is awesome, because, you know, I was like, I don't think I fit Tyler into this little 20-minute space, but they did. They fit everyone into that 20-minute space, I swear. And then we get to one of my favorite endings besides the Elena and Damon ending. We get to the Caroline ending. Well, actually, first it's the Alark ending, and Alark was with his daughters, and Jo is watching over her children. And it's such a beautiful ending for Alark, because I loved the scene where Jo was watching over Alark and her twins, and it made me bawl like a baby, and it was such a surprise, because I didn't know the girl who was playing Jo was back. Kind of like, I didn't know the girl who was playing Lexi was back. I'm like, so many characters back. I mean, I knew about Jenna and John, but I didn't know about the other ones. But then, we get Caroline's ending, and she decided that she's gonna run the school with Alark, and Jeremy is helping them for whatever reason. It's a little weird, but I kind of like it. Like the concept of it. And yeah, that was just beautiful. And then Caroline drops letters. She sees her mom again. I totally love that. But the thing I love most about Caroline's ending was the very generous donor was Klaus. And he's all like, and his letter said that I knew you were going to do extraordinary things with your life, but you have exceeded my expectations of you. I look forward to seeing you in person someday, however long to congratulating you in it's like, I look forward to congratulating you in person, however long it takes. Love Klaus, and I'm like, oh my god. And then of course, Alar's voiceover said, but that's a story for another day, which gives me hope for Caroline, and I totally love it. And then we get the Delana ending. So Elena is riding in the cemetery. She has just graduated from med school. She is a doctor, and she's married to Damon, and she's writing in her diary that her life was epic, and the person she had to thank was Stefan, and he made her feel alive again. And I'm like, and even though I'm not a Stelena shipper, and I didn't ever ship them, I loved that scene for her thanking Stefan, because Stefan was the one who gave her life back. I mean, Damon was the one who made her live her life. The same with Stefan. Both brothers made her continue to live her life. Stefan after her parents died, and Damon after she died. So both brothers were important to her, and I'm glad that they made sure that both brothers were important to her. And then in the cemetery, I love this scene because Damon's crow flies over Elena. He lands on top of the Salvador crypt, and then there's Damon, and Elena just smiles. She grabs her book bag, and then Damon holds his hand out for her, and she takes it, and I'm like, I would have been okay with it ending right there. But then we went and have got the most epic of the scenes, and of course, we get to the Delana scene that I love the most, and the Elena scene that I love the most, because it's not technically a Delana scene, but starts off as one. So Damon and Elena are holding hands, and you can see Elena's wedding ring around her finger, and I'm all like, yay! Yay, they got married. Don't know if they had kids or not, but not important at the moment. At the moment, honestly, I'm just glad that I got a happy ending, and Elena and Damon got a happy ending. I was glad about that. I know a lot of people aren't, but I was glad about that. So they're holding hands, and it was such a beautiful shot because you could see the wedding ring, and the little tiny smirks that they do. It was just so cute. I know that most people thought it was forced, but Damon doesn't really smile. I mean, when in the series has Damon ever given a full-out teeth smile? Damon has always smirked. So it was kind of like Damon's character not to smile whatsoever. But apparently they cut out that Delana proposal to make room for the episode because apparently there's 16 minutes of unseen footage. But we better get that Delana proposal in the deleted scenes. I really hope we do, or else I'm gonna not bawl like a baby because I knew they had a happy ending, but still. And then we get to my favorite part in the episode, where Elena is talking about how Damon thinks he'll never find peace, and Elena's all like, but I know he's wrong, because peace exists in the ones that we hold dear. And then Damon vanishes out of sight. We see Elena holding her hand out, and then we see Jenna, and I'm like, oh my god, I swear guys, this is the most beautiful scene. I can't even portray how beautiful this scene was, because Elena turns around, and she sees Jenna, her mom, and her dad, and the whole look of shock at seeing her family again just made me want to cry, and it made my fiance cry too when we got to see Jenna and Miranda and Grayson and even John. So Elena turns around, and the first line she says is "Mom," all really happy, and I was just like, oh my god, that is her last scene is amazing. I applaud Nia Dobrev on her acting in her last scene ever. So Elena, the sheer happiness of her running towards her family that she lost so long ago is amazing, and I loved it. So she runs towards her mom and her dad, and she gives her mom a hug first, and then she gives her dad the hug, and then surprise, surprise, because I'm wondering where John is. John comes out, and she hugs John, and she hugs Jenna, and they all give a group hug, and it was just the most beautiful ending for Elena that I could have ever imagined her having, and she really deserved it, and I just loved that ending. I really did. And then we get to the last scene, because I knew the last scene from, spoilers, was gonna take place in the Salvatore house, and I was wondering what was gonna happen, and I got the most beautiful last scene I could have asked for, with Stefan being in the Salvatore mansion, and Damon doesn't even have to knock, because Stefan automatically knows he's there to see him. So he opens the door, and the brothers exchange the whole first scene they ever had of each other, where Stefan says Damon, and Damon's all like, hello brother, and I'm just all like, I'm crying over here, because the whole Delana happy ending, along with the whole Elena getting to see her family again, on top of the first the Clara line stuff, then I got my Delana happy ending, then I got Elena reuniting of her family, which was a beautiful scene, and I'm really shocked that people on YouTube are commenting nasty things about the ending just because they don't really like Elena. I didn't really get that. It was a beautiful ending, no matter who she ended up with. It was a beautiful ending of Elena, and I loved Elena's ending, and I loved Damon and Steven's ending because they exchanged the first lines that they ever said to each other, and then they ended up hugging, and it just fades out, and that was the end of the Vampire Diaries. And it's just been an emotional ride, and I love the show so much. Just so much. I want to end this video by saying thank you to all the cast. This ride has been epically amazing. This show has gotten me through so much: puberty, adulthood, and this will be remembered as one of my favorite shows ever, that produced one of my favorite ships ever, that produced one of the most epically amazing love triangles I ever seen. I mean, no matter what differences I had with Stelena shippers, both of these ships were epically amazing, and I loved them, and I would hold them dear for all my life until my next epically amazing show. So to all the fans of the Vampire Diaries, and to all the cast and everyone, thank you. This is Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and this is me signing off for the Vampire Diaries. Farewell, Vampire Diaries, and I will always love you. Bye!